Today we are doing 11.4, Relationships and Graphs. And here you'll notice I have taken a picture of the 11.4 section, and there is an excellent graph here that I want to go over. Each of these questions is going to have a little story to go behind the graph, or having to deal with the graph. So for this particular graph, this is talking about Aaron's trip to the library. And if you notice on the bottom, which is your x-axis, that's your time in minutes. And the y-axis is your distance from home. So the story goes, a little before 5 o'clock, Erin tells her father she needs to go to the library to do research for a paper she is writing. Her father tells her she can go, but she needs to be home by 6:30 for dinner. Erin leaves for the library at 5. The graph below shows her distance from home for the next 90 minutes. Use the graph to write a story about Erin's trip to the library. So, what you want to notice is here's your time, and it looks like it's in increments of 5 minutes. And here you're going by 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, all the way to 1. So let's just talk about this line right here. That would be from 0 to 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, she has traveled 0.4 miles away from her home, because it said she was starting at home and she was going to the library. So here she's traveled. But if you notice here at B, she's going back home. And so maybe she forgot something. We could say maybe she forgot her backpack. So we would, from 10 to 15 minutes, which is just a 5-minute stretch, she raced back home. So if you notice, she took 10 minutes to walk towards the library, and then only 5 minutes to real quick run back home. Then let's look at C. It looks like she's going to make it to the library here. So it took her, let's see, 5, 10, 15 minutes to get to the library. And that was after 30 minutes since she started to leave and had to come back and all of that. So starting from here at that 15-minute mark, it took her 15 minutes to get to the library. Then it looks like she's not moving at all. She's staying in the same exact spot, because the vertical line tells you her distance away from the house, and that is not changing. It is being consistent. So if you notice, she stayed at the library from the 30-minute marker to the 70-minute marker. So that looks like that's about 40 minutes at the library. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 minutes. Then she decides she's going to go back home because it looks like she's heading that way. So she covers, let's see, 2 and, let's see, 3.3 miles. And then it looks like she stops again, and that was just in 5 minutes from 70 to 75. So she traveled 0.3 miles, and then she stops for 5 minutes. Maybe she was tired, or she saw a friend, or she's looking at a tree, something like that. And then from 80 to 85 minutes, she runs back home very quickly in 5 minutes, and she covers 0.6 miles from 0.6 to here. So that would be at 0. So 0.6 miles. She travels that in 5 minutes, and she is now home. So that's just one scenario that you could come up with on what she was doing based on this graph. What I do want to point out is that you can look and see what the slope is of these lines. So I want to focus on this line right here, line C, and that is this point to this point. So we can do our rise over run to find our slope. So this point is 30, comma, see, 0.9. And this point is 15, comma, 0. So we can move this back up. We're going to do our y2 minus our y1 over x2 minus our x1. So I'm going to plug in my point. I have 0.9 for my y2 minus my y1, which is 0, over my x2, which is 30, minus my x1, which is 15. And I have 0.9 divided by 30 minus 15, which is 15, which gives me 0.06. So that means that my slope is 0.06. And what it means in context of this equation is that, or this graph, is that from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, she traveled at a rate of 0.6 miles per minute. And the reason I know it's miles per minute is because we have our miles over minutes. So it's miles per minute. So 0.6 miles per minute. That's what this, 0.06, excuse me, miles per minute. That's what this means right here. Here we have another graph, and this time it's talking about Erin's paper typing. And again, we have our time on the bottom, which is on the x-axis, and our number of words typed per minute is our y-axis. And so this time we're not talking about distance, we're talking about how many words she can type per minute. And so we're talking about Erin, and she had to type a 750 word research paper. It says the graph below is based on the given description. The graph is numbered to match the steps of the description here. So I'm going to walk you through each of these steps here. The first one says that for the first 4 minutes, Erin typed a fairly fast-paced, typing 200 words. So from, let's see, it's by twos, so but after 4 minutes, she had typed 200 words. And now I'm getting that because of 4 and 200, and that's where it ends. Now let's look at number 2. It says she slowed down a bit after the first 4 minutes, but continued to type at a steady pace. After a total of 10 minutes of typing, she had typed 350 words. So we're here from 4 to 10, so that's after 6 minutes, but she had been typing for a total of 10, and it's at 350 words, and we're looking at that right here. It says she stopped for 6 minutes to get a drink. So here it's 2, 4, 6, and there's no movement. She's only still typed 350 words. So those flat lines means she hasn't typed anything. Let's look at 4. This is after two more minutes. It says after a few sips of juice, Erin was energized, and the next 2 minutes she typed 150 words. And so if you notice, we're going up by 50s here. So we're here, it's 50, another 50, and another 50. So 50, 100, 150. So that's where they're getting that for a total of 500 words. But then you notice after just right, there's no time lapse. You see how it just goes straight down? It's a vertical line. No time has lapsed. So what happened? What would have happened for her to lose all those words? Well, it says by accident, Erin permanently deleted 250 words. So that would be 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. That's how they're getting that. So then it says she was discouraged, but she kept on typing at a steady rate for the next 8 minutes and finished the paper. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So if you notice, that was 8 minutes. And she typed at a steady rate, and she kept climbing here, typing all those words. So you can see that it was here from 250 to about 750. So you can see that she typed a lot. What I do want to point out is you can tell that by the steepness of the slope how fast she is typing. So you can see visually where she typed slower and where she typed the faster. So here for number 2, this is the line that she typed the slowest because it's the flattest one, besides obviously this one she just lost everything. But here she's not typing, so we can't count that. So this is the less steep of a slope out of all of them. This one's pretty steep, this one's very steep, this one's extremely steep. But this one right here is the slowest. And we can see what her slowest time was, or speed in this case, by doing our slope formula. So again, we're going to have our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to look at our points from here to here. So this point right here is 10, 350. And this point right here is 4, 200. And so we're going to use those points and we're going to plug them in. We're going to have 350 minus 200 over 10 minus 4, and we're going to get 150 divided by 6. And I'm running out of room, but 150 divided by 6 is 25. So that means that her slowest typing speed was 25 words per minute. Okay, and the reason I know it's words per minute is because here's our time and here's our words, and it's words per minute. It's always the y over the x.